Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joann Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey there! Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. Today we're recording episode 119, and our guest today is Libby Langdon. Libby is an interior designer, an author, a product designer, and a makeover television personality, as well as the creative force behind New York City-based design firm Libby Interiors, Incorporated. She's known for her easy, elegant, everyday style, as well as her licensed home furnishing collections, including lighting for Christorama, rugs for Cass, artwork for Paragon, a complete home collection of upholstery and case goods for Fairfield Chair, and accessories for A&B Home, which just debuted at High Point Market this October 2021. And all of her product designs are amazing. Her interior design work and home products have been featured in leading shelter magazines, including Architectural Digest, House Beautiful, Traditional Home, Hampton's Cottage and Gardens, Better Homes and Gardens, and Women's Day.
Lordy, Libby.
Wow. Now, this is kind of cool. She's been a regular design expert on the NBC's Today Show, HGTV's Small Space, Big Style, The View, I didn't know about that, The Rachel Ray Show, The Early Show, and NBC's Open House.
Goodness.
She travels the country presenting her design seminars to consumers, designers, and retailers about all things design. Wow.
That's a resume.
Way cool.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So before we jump in and start chatting with Libby, we want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Jill Seal. Inspired by Jill's studies of paper marbling in Florence, Italy, she brings her unique creativity to this time-honored art, along with hand-illustrated designs to luxury textiles, wall coverings, pillows, lampshades, home accents, and more. She is a good friend of ours. She is so talented. So please check her out at Jill Seal, and it's SEALE.com. We love so many of her products, but one of our favorites is the Black Orchid pillow. You got to check it out. She's just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and we chatted with her on episode 110, so check her out.
Welcome, Libby.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be chatting with you lovely ladies. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. Libby has been in the design business for a really long time, but we met you basically in High Point.
Yep.
And we have we did a panel with you one time, and we always see you at High Point, but we were so excited with your collection with Fairfield Chair because we buy a lot from them, and you did such a great job there.
Oh, thank you. It's so much fun, and they're a fantastic partner. I love them as a company. I love how they think outside the box. They really support all of my designs and what I want to create, and I also feel like they take advantage of the fact that, I'm on the front lines with the consumer, the end user. As interior designers, we're working with the people that are actually purchasing the products, and I love that they take advantage of that.
A lot of licenses are people that either, whether they're like celebrities or that they're very well known, but they're not on the front lines kind of like we are. That's why I think picking you, versus, some of the others was really smart for them.
Thank you. Well, it's fun. It's been fun to see the collection evolve too, and just continuing to add to it has just really been fun.
So you do a lot of product design and licensing.
Yes.
So, and it's not easy, and it takes a lot of work. So what has your experience been, doing all that?
Yeah, for me, I think I always knew I wanted to get into product design, and it's interesting because it's true. I do really do the actual work. I'm not just sort of sitting there and saying, oh, show me a couple chairs and I'll pick two to put my name on. And so, the process of it can be anywhere from, with the Fairfield furniture, I sort of come up with terrible sketches, and then they actually do the CAD, and then I revise the CAD, and we do product development meetings in the factory in North Carolina. But for something like with my Christorama lighting, again, I start with terrible sketches, but Chris, a designer who works with me, he does all the CAD in our office, and we actually give them the CAD, and it's as specific as this is the wattage of the bulb, this is the dimensions of the tubing. And so I think for me, being as specific up front allows me to ensure that I'm going to get the end result that I really want. And it is a lot of work. But I joke because, we'll see each other in High Point, and I'm there and I'm selling my furniture and my lighting and my rugs and my wall decor. And then, I leave High Point and I'm sort of like, oh yeah, now I got to go back to my day job. The product design is my side hustle. So, the balancing of it is quite hard, because every 6 months they need new product designs and things to add to the collection. So balancing that with just working with clients is tough. And I will say too, one of the things that probably doesn't help is social media, because let's face it, our clients are watching, right? They're seeing where we are and what we're doing. And, if you go on a fabulous trip, they know you're not, at the mart picking out fabrics for them. So in that respect, I feel like I have to be very careful how I'm balancing and showing what I'm doing and what I'm working on and where I am, so everybody feels like they're getting enough of my Libbiness that they need.
Yeah.
Did you approach Fairfield and Christorama and the rest, or did they approach you?
You know what? It's interesting. I was actually at an event that they did at Fairfield. With it, did like a welcome drinks thing there during a market. And to be honest, I hadn't looked at Fairfield in years. And I started walking through and I was like, wow, they have really made a difference in what they're offering as far as product collections. And so I ended up meeting Dixon, the CEO, and Jim Craven, who's head of sales. And we were just kind of chatting at this cocktail event. And then Dixon reached out to me and said, would you be interested in just having a chat about possibly partnering? And that was how it started. And it's just been so much fun. So much fun.
It's funny because I remember the days of Fairfield. What I thought of was doctor's office chairs is basically what Fairfield was to me.
Yeah.
And same kind of thing. Once we started doing commercial work, we were looking for some new manufacturers, and they do have a whole commercial line, and they do, great commercial stuff, which worked with our residential, models and clubhouses and stuff. So they have really changed. But now when I look at Fairfield and I'm kind of going through the site, it's like, oh, I love that. Oh, that's a Libby Langdon piece. Oh, that's a Libby Langdon piece.
Yep. It's a good vibe mixed in. Joann and I talk about this a lot. Do you feel like on the business side of things that licensing only really pays off when you have multiple lines? Or, I think about how busy we are as designers, and of course you are too, and then think, oh my goodness, that balance that you're speaking of, that's a lot of work for these licensing projects, and I'd wonder if the money would be worth it.
Yeah, so it's interesting because sometimes I hear people say, oh, don't get into licensing for the money, you're never going to make money. Well, I completely disagree with that, and I got into it because of the money. And
okay.
I think the trick for me is I'm a very responsible product designer. I'm not going to design a hot pink velvet tete-a-tete sofa because I've never sold a client a hot pink tete-a-tete sofa. So what I always strive to do is design product that's going to sell. And the other thing for me is it's by choice that I don't sell product that's to the trade only. All of my product is available online, in retail stores, in lighting stores. So, for me, the volume comes when somebody can buy a chandelier or a rug or a piece of artwork when they're in their pajamas at 2 a.m. on the internet. So I feel like if you are responsible and you're designing real product for real people and you make it as readily available as possible, that is probably going to be the most lucrative way you can approach licensing. And I do love that with Fairfield, designers can buy my product and then put their own spin on it and do fabrics and welts and, leathers or whatever they want. So I feel like somebody can take what I'm doing and craft it and make it very special, but at the same point, if just a consumer wants to buy it, they still have access to purchase it.
That's very smart.
Yeah, that's great insight. I like that.
And you're right. It takes up so much time. If it were just a vanity thing, like, oh, I just want to put my name on stuff and see my picture on tags, that's a recipe for disaster. And I also feel a responsibility to my partners. It costs so much money for them to develop samples and go to markets, and I think eventually, if things aren't selling, they're gonna not want to work with you anymore. So it's just being very, very responsible to my partners, I think, is what makes them successful.
You're just so responsible. Let's
not always, girls. Not always. You've seen me.
Let's sidetrack for a minute, because you work on a lot of show houses, and you were just part of that 7,000 square foot Hampton Designer Show House.
Yes.
So where you did the living room. So what was that experience like? And is it worth it? Because we get asked this a lot too, and we wonder this ourselves. Is it worth it for designers to do show houses?
I mean, we've done how many, Joann?
4 or 5?
4 or 5.
Right.
What do you get out of it? So go ahead. Let's just hear your take.
I want to compare answers.
Yeah.
You know what? I have never gotten a job out of doing a show house.
There
Never.
we go. That's
not once. Not once. And it's so darn expensive to do it. The only reason why I did the Hampton Designer Show House was it was a wonderful way for me to showcase all the different products that I design in one room, get professional photography. It's in a real house. It's not a studio set, and be able to create material, videos, PR, marketing materials that then I can go and share with my partners so they can promote my collections. I can promote my collections. So I really think of it more as a marketing kind of thing. And I think if people are not sure if they want to do a show house, there are different levels of them that you can do, like Kips Bay, forget it. If they ever asked me to do it, no way would I do it. It costs like $1 gazillion.
Yeah.
But I think there are some that you can do where it doesn't cost a fortune. And if you don't advertise, you can just sort of trick your brain a little bit and say, oh, this is basically my advertising costs for this year and next year. But I think it works if you work it, but just to do it and not really create stuff that you can use after it closes it's not going to be worth it. But I mean, for you guys, what's your experience? Have you gotten work out of doing show houses?
Nope, we never did.
Won.
But I do remember when we were first considering it, we were asking different people. The one thing that they said, kind of similar to you, was it was the one place where they could show their style. They weren't designing for another person, that this is a great way for somebody to see your vibe. And and if a magazine is associated with it, that's just more press. Yes, but it does cost money. You have to ask for favors from people and stuff. But it, I mean, it was cool. But it just has to depend on the timing. If we have time to do it, where it is. You have to really think about it before you say yes.
Yes, for sure.
What about you, Cal? What do you think?
I think I enjoyed every one we did. We did one in Charleston. We've done them in Atlanta. I think it just, timing was a big thing. Expense was a big thing depending on the room. We don't have licensing going on. So for you, that's brilliant way to look at it. Yeah. So we just it depended. We turned down one in Charleston because they didn't have a national magazine sponsor.
Yeah.
So that was that's number one. If we're not going to be in the magazine, then forget it. We're not doing it. So
yeah.
I think it just depends, but we're so busy with our
design work,
and this podcast that it hasn't been at the top of our radar, but we never miss one. Atlanta Homes and Lifestyles does such a beautiful job here in Atlanta, and we never miss their show houses. So
I would say, as an advice to somebody maybe who's a new designer that really wants to get their name, is just to take a small room. We've always just done the smaller spaces.
Yes,
the big ones are they ask the big people to do the big ones, but we did a little laundry room in the one in Charleston, which those sometimes are kind of a little more fun.
It was really and it was a beautiful, cute little space. We had original art and great wallpaper and super chandelier, and it was it was a pimped out laundry room for sure.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I'm glad we asked you about that. The other thing that I really wanted to ask you about, because you're so good at it, is incorporating a lot of video in your design business. And we have been told over and over and over again. I mean, if another coach or another, advisee tells us to do video, I'll scream. So we're trying to get better at it. Well, and I don't know why, because we're so comfortable in front of the camera. I don't know why we don't do it more. But anyway, so
she's been on the Today Show. Like, Libby, you're a rock star.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love being on camera. I loved doing makeover television, and for me, it's twofold. It's a way for me to promote my business and my products. And then it's another part of it is it's a way for me to grow my business. As interior designers, we're people. We're dealing with real people all the time, and I love for people to see that I'm approachable, I'm fun, I want the design process to be fun. YouTube is a great tool for me, and also I have tons of videos. We shoot installations, so I'm actually I've got a new video up on my YouTube channel, and it was the installation of the Hampton Designer Show House, and we did it in one day. And I bring in an actual crew, but honestly, an iPhone does the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. But I think, and a lot of times if people are nervous about how to get started with video, oh my gosh, walk through one of the last projects you've just completed. And it's so easy because as designers, we know why we put that contrast welt on that chair. We know why we use that colorful pattern on the ottoman. And so it's so easy to walk through a room that you've designed and just simply explain why you did what you did. And so I find that it's just a wonderful way to let people know who you are, what you're all about, and kind of demystify the design process. And I think the other thing is the next wave of our clients are going to be so used to only getting information via YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is. And so, I think you don't need a big fancy crew. You need an assistant or your kids.
Yeah.
My one tip is don't have a short camera person. Make sure they get that camera up nice and high, or I get this whole like Shrek chin thing happening, and then I hate the video and I never post it. So number one, I have a tall videographer, and for YouTube and Facebook, everything's horizontal. And then obviously Instagram, everything's vertical. And there's a wonderful little microphone that I have that I plug into my iPhone. And it's made by a company called Shure. It's SCHUR, and it's just this little tiny microphone, and you plug it in the jack in your iPhone, and it just gives you great sound and can make a simple iPhone video look really professional.
That's really important.
I wrote that down.
If your video, when you're watching a video, like if there's like noise outside or whatever, you can't really hear it. if I can't hear something, I'm out. Like I
Yeah.
can't, I have no patience for that. So so that's really good.
Well, and the other thing
information.
that we're trying to get over is the perfectionism in us. You know, I look at it and I think, oh, I look fat, or that wasn't good enough, or and people don't care. So they really
not
just
care.
want, like you said, that inside intel
Well,
into
and
what we're doing.
It's a very personal relationship. I mean, you are in someone's home. You know, you have to be able to. The personalities have to click.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Absolutely.
I think the more you show your personality, that someone can say, "Oh, I'd really like to work with them."
Yes.
Well, and I think also I remember meeting you for the first time, and we were like, oh, there's Libby Langdon, and then you were, the nicest designer I think I've ever met, and it makes all the difference in the world. And people say that a lot about us too, that we're very approachable, and I think that's amazing because there's so many designers out there that aren't.
Yeah,
And
Yes.
I have a specific memory of when we were there was a show house in High Point, and you had done, I believe, the bedroom. But
that's what I'm thinking of.
But your mom was there.
Yes.
And taking
Yes.
photographs. And your mom is the cutest thing because you grew up in High Point, right? Libby?
Yes. I was born and raised there. Yeah.
Okay, so now you live in New York. Mm-hmm. And so whenever you come, there your mom was when we were just there.
Yes.
There she was in the showroom taking little pictures. I just think that's just so sweet. I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's hilarious because she'll go to different events with me in High Point, and I think people must think I'm nuts because I've got this woman with this enormous camera following me around, and I'm like, no, it's not like I'm bringing a photographer. That's my mom.
I remember being quite impressed that she could handle the camera and she was good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her nickname is the Mamarazzi.
Oh, that is hilarious.
That's awesome.
hilarious.
Well, I'm so happy for that little tip. Don't think I won't be going on to Amazon and looking for the Shure little mic for.
Oh, yeah. It's a game changer. It is a game changer for sure.
And then before you put them on YouTube, Libby, do you do a lot of editing, or do you just throw them up and let them be?
You know what?
Or?
If it's one from my iPhone, I don't do any editing because I don't know how to do any editing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I tell people I can make a piano out of a coconut, but technology is not my jam.
Yeah.
So, and that's sort of to encourage everybody. You don't have to be a whiz, but if you do want to do some editing, I know that the iMovie app on your iPhone is a great. It's super user friendly, and people say it's really easy to do. But for like the most recent installation that we filmed for the Hampton Designer Show House, that is edited because that was shot on 2 different cameras, and that was a crew and everything. So
that makes sense.
But yeah, I just encourage everybody, just get out there and play with it. And exactly what Kelly's saying is, perfection is not what people want. They want real. And the best YouTube videos, the ones that do the best, is when there's a little flub here, or like, something falls down on the wall behind me. Those are the things that people really want to see. And that's definitely for sure what does the best.
Great. Well, we have just a couple minutes left. It always goes so fast.
Yes.
So just go ahead and just tell us. You do so many things so well. What are your goals for the future now?
Oh, wow. I think my goals for the future are to continue adding additional licensing categories to what I'm working on. And then also to maybe take less jobs and just sort of work on some of the bigger jobs, and then have Chris, who's a designer that works with me, sort of take the lead on some of the things with my interior design business, so that I can maybe spend a little bit more time with my husband.
That sounds awesome. Do you have a big team? Are you small and efficient?
We are small and mighty. No, it's Chris and Heather, and then I have a social media person who's outsourced, and attorneys and all that stuff. But no, it's a really small sort of group, and we just work our tails off, just like you do.
That sounds like us.
Yeah,
We're small and mighty.
I can't believe how small our team is. There's only 4 of us, and what we can push out is amazing.
Incredible, right? I know. So much work happening, and good work happening, which is what makes it really exciting.
But I think the thought of bigger projects, less projects, more personal time at home. I don't know if that was that kind of a pandemic realization for you, or is it just been time? It's just time.
It was a total pandemic realization, and I think I would get on a plane. I was on a plane once a week, once every 2 weeks, going here, going there. I was just on the gerbil wheel, and it was a hard reset for me. And what I realized was, wow, I can get a lot done and still have some time to myself, and maybe go out and play 9 holes of golf with my husband at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. So in that respect, I felt like I just need to work smarter, not harder. And that was a great...
And I think balance is so important. Kelly and I, from when we first started, we really just wanted balance, because we've seen too many people kill themselves. And you see a couple of designers in High Point, and boy, they're looking like
ragged,
rough, ragged. They're killing themselves. Like,
I'm not doing that. I'm just not.
No, the balance it's hard. And, I kind of started ramping things up this fall, and it was starting to look like the gerbil wheel again. And so, it's just a time to sort of say, all right, this was done. But there were some speaking engagements and some things that I had planned during the pandemic, and everything got pushed off. So everybody wanted to have me do stuff before the end of the year. So, but I think December, I'm going to just kind of enjoy it.
Good for you. Well, hold on for us, because we're getting to the end, but we have our funny and serious quote that people depend on us for at this point.
Of course.
Yeah. So, all right, Joann.
Go ahead.
All right, I will do the funny quote. I just hate it when Walmart doesn't have what I need, and I have to go home, change out of my pajamas, take a shower so I can go to Target.
It's so true. So
why do people think that going out in public in pajamas is acceptable?
Or slippers.
Or slippers.
A lot of slippers.
I mean, if I see another pair of pajamas in the airport, I am going to scream. I don't care that you had to wake up at 3 o'clock. Get into some clothes, people. It's
exactly.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. I don't know who said that was okay, but we should find that person and slap them.
Now, I'm all about my pajamas. Like, I'll put them on the minute I walk in the door when I get home, but I'm not wearing them in public, even though I would love to.
No.
I love my pajamas. Okay. Here's our serious quote. Our homes, communities, and surrounding environment directly affect our daily behaviors and lifestyles. And together, these determine up to 80 to 90% of our health outcomes. Our spaces matter. They have a huge impact on our health and mental well-being. And that comes from the Global Wellness Institute.
Oh, wow. I live and breathe that mantra every day.
It's so true. It's so true. Your surroundings are important.
Absolutely. If you love where you live, it manifests itself in your life so many different ways. It's incredible.
Yep.
You are so right.
Yes. Well, we loved having you, Libby, and we also want to give a big shout out and a thank you to Jill Seal for sponsoring this podcast. So if you like our show and haven't already done so, please give us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us. Also, if there are any topics you would like us to discuss, please reach out. Let us know.
Yeah, we want to hear it. Yeah. Let's chat. So,
I love chatting with you ladies. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we saw you briefly in High Point, and we didn't get our usual, sit on the couch with a glass of wine time because it was madness. But we will for sure see you in the spring, if not before then. But I hope you have a wonderful holiday.
Absolutely. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday too, and I can't wait till the next time I see you.
I know. Thanks for taking the time out of your schedule to talk with us. We loved having you.
Oh, it was
We're big
wonderful.
fans.
Wonderful.
We're
All
big
right.
fans.
Thank you.
All right, Libby.
Okay, take care.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody. Thanks for listening.
Okay, bye-bye.
Join Joann and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak-Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.